Do you live in a world filled with corporate data? Are you plagued by siloed departments? Are your lackluster growth strategies demolishing your chances for success? Are you held captive by the evil menace, Lord Lack? Lack of time, lack of strategy, and lack of the most important and powerful tool in your superhero tool belt, knowledge. Never fear, HubHeroes. Get ready to don your cape and mask, move into action, and become the Hub Hero your organization needs. Tune in each week to join the League of Extraordinary Inbound Heroes as we help you educate, empower, and execute. Hub Heroes, it's time to unite and activate your powers. Before we begin, we need to disclose that Devin is currently employed by HubSpot at the time of this episode's recording. This podcast is in no way affiliated with or produced by HubSpot, and the thoughts and opinions expressed by Devin during the show are that of his own and in no way represent those of his employer.
We love a good safe harbor. We love a good safe harbor legal statement, don't we, kids? We love it.
Yes.
We thrive. It's what gets us going.
This is the safest harbor.
The safest.
There
Yeah.
are no sharks, no big waves,
Yeah. It's
no
like,
pirate ships.
it's like the Heroes Harbor, maybe. It's the
Heroes
Heroes
Harbor?
Harbor. Yeah, maybe.
Oh, I love that.
That's like some Paw Patrol.
Where
there,
where
Hero
we're the
Harbor.
guardians of growth. It's like the Hero Harbor where we're the guardians of growth, and we're a
Wow.
safe haven for the heroes
Alliteration
that need
king.
to take a break.
Guardians of the Growthery.
We are the alliteration kings. We can do anything. I love it.
We can.
Well,
we can.
welcome back, gentlemen, to another fantastic episode. I'm really excited. I think this is the first time in a while all of us have been together.
Let's go.
That's nice.
Let's go. Are we ready? Because
I love. By the way, I love when us four humans can get together and just drop bombs. By the way, that was like probably the quickest I've ever done that in any episode to date.
Yeah, it was
very
fast.
true.
Yeah.
Very quick. Well, Devin, I don't think that's something we should really highlight. What we should be really happy for is that he felt the need to say it. And that's
Yes.
what really all that matters, right?
Yes.
That's what matters.
It's all
I
about
love
the
that.
feeling.
It's just been a while since we've all been together. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And that's fine. Do you know what's kind of crazy though? It doesn't feel like that long ago that we recorded our first Inbound 23 preview episode. And I remember us talking about it. And in the introduction, I literally was like, now I know you guys are like, but it's months away. And like, how can we possibly be talking about Inbound already? Ladies and gentlemen, and all of the Hub Heroes out there, alert, alert. We are less than a month now. Less than a month to HubSpot's annual Inbound event.
It's crazy.
If you are just now joining this hype train already in progress for the singular celebration of tens of thousands of inbound practicing humans from all around the world, you have come to the right place. Because yes, we have been hyped for months. In fact, I would actually say, if you are just now catching up on the Inbound Hype Train, we have 2 other episodes in the feed you should definitely check out. Number 1, the most bombdiggity.com Inbound 23 Strategic Success Framework for individuals and teams. And then we have CRIKEY, Inbound 23 Down Under Roundtable, the ultimate guide for international HubSpotters, and I would also say agency owners. You guys had some really great conversations around making the most of inbound as an agency owner, regardless as to whether you're from down under, around the world, or stateside. So highly recommend you guys checking those out. But today, that's right.
Oh, that's hot.
Right. It is time for the first annual. Because yes, you ding dongs, we're doing this again next year, just in case you didn't know. Yes. It is the first annual Hub Heroes Breakout Session Preview Show for Inbound 23. Are we excited?
Oh, so excited.
Wow, everyone calm down. You guys are the worst. Okay. Anyway, you're right, guys. Super. Because while we love the keynotes, we do Is Pitbull going to be one of the keynotes? If so, I will be there.
I love keynotes.
I love keynotes. Devin, how do you feel about keynotes? Are you into them? They're the notiest of keys.
Yeah.
Keynotes are the
Even
most
spotlights
amazing.
are cool. By the way, I know we're here to talk about breakouts. We are going to talk about breakouts. If we have time, I might bring up one spotlight, by the way, that I do want to just
can have
touch
a
upon
bonus.
towards the end. So we'll see. We'll
You
see.
can totally have a bonus. Change approved.
Thank you.
Breakout and
Yes.
spotlight preview episode. How about that?
Yes.
So yeah, we love our notiest of keys. We love the networking. We love, as George likes to call it, the magic that happens in the hallways. But let's face it, the breakouts and also some of the spotlights are where you're going to get most of your educational bang for your buck. That's where you get to learn not just from HubSpotters, but real world inbound practitioners who are sharing some of the best secret sauce that they've got out there so we can all learn and grow together. However, before we dig into all of our picks,
Oh.
I thought it might be fun
Oh.
to do a little bit of inbound trivia.
Oh.
Max,
I
did you
usually
like
do
that?
really bad at these things. I'm just
I'm
going to
so bad at
forewarn
trivia.
everybody.
I know, this is going to be really awful too.
Hang on,
because I
let me
picked
get
one
Google
niche one
fired
and
up
one
real
out.
quick.
I position myself as someone where HubSpot's my entire personality, but any sort of historical trivia you have, it's gone. Not there.
Fantastic, because one of these, so here, little preview of the two questions you have. One of them is so niche, there's a good chance none of you will get it. And then the other one is you will be really embarrassed if you get it wrong. So I decided just to bring us on spice today.
Man.
Which one do you want to start with? The potential embarrassment?
Barack Obama, that's our answer.
No, I'm sorry.
Martha Stewart.
It is Barack Obama. Thank you. Wow. What do we want to start with? Potential embarrassment or super niche?
Oh, let's just get it
Niche.
over with.
Niche.
Let's
Great.
oh.
What
Yeah, let's
year
get it.
did
Come on.
Inbound have the folks from Charity Water there in Club Inbound so you could walk the water across Club Inbound and understand how far people had to walk in order to carry water?
2015. 2015.
2019. Oh,
2014.
2014?
It was my first Inbound.
Oh, wait.
I also met
2019
Nick
is when we
Saul
had
that year in a
COVID.
frog suit.
I remember that though. That was the
It was a
dopest
good
of
one.
dope things. Those like yellow jugs and like people
Yeah.
trying to like truck them along. Oh yeah.
That's
He was
what
a
it was.
good
And then
keynote
meanwhile,
too.
That was also the year
you see
Simon
their
Sinek was
keynote when they
there.
came back?
That was also the year Gary Vaynerchuk was there. It was that was my very first Inbound experience. But what I also really loved about it too is that they really created a central focal point where this organization that they had partnered with for this event to really make a statement and an impact about the work that they were doing. And I thought that was really powerful. So shout out to HubSpot, shout out to Charity Water. All right, guys.
You know, hey,
Here's-
before you go off of there, because you did say something. You said Gary Vee was there.
I thought he was.
He was.
I might be
Hey,
wrong.
well, I know you might be right.
That might have been
I want to see.
2015.
I want to see.
No.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
'cause-
Okay. Because I know he was 2012.
He was
But then what was the
16,
other one? Was
Gary
the other one?
I think it
Well-
was Simon Sinek that year.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah, it had to
Yep,
be 2016 because I got there in
Yeah.
2015
Yeah.
and he was there at the first one,
Yeah.
and I was really into Gary Vee and almost melted when he walked by me.
Bro.
Oh, that's gross. Ew.
Bro.
Ew.
Yeah, and so in little known
What?
Gary Vee story, he's one of the reasons why Black and Inbound.
They do now.
Like
Exclusive.
no one knows this, but I tweeted about wanting to start a movement, but I had really bad social anxiety. And I had tagged him, and he just do
You got Nike'd
something
by
along
Gary
those lines.
Vee.
And I'm like, what? I'm gonna
That's
do it,
amazing.
Gary.
Listen, I know that Gary Vee
I got
watches
Nike'd
this
by Gary
podcast
Vee.
on a weekly
Oh, yeah.
basis.
Totally.
So let's
100%.
just give Gary Vee,
Friend of
like,
the
let's just
show.
give him a round of applause. Gary, for changing the world. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You know what? We really appreciate our friends of the pod, Barack Obama, Simon Sinek, Gary Vee. Thank you guys for listening and tuning in each week and giving us personal pointers
Yeah.
and personal notes each time. I really
Yeah,
appreciate
Liz,
it.
make sure we're one of those annoying companies that tags every one of those just because we mentioned them once in the podcast. Because we don't have enough of that
100%.
on LinkedIn.
I love that for us. That's called growth. That's called flourishing. All right, are we ready for the second trivia question?
Oh, sure. I'm nervous, but yeah.
In what year was the HubSpot flywheel announced?
2018, because it was right before COVID. Oh, wait.
I think it was, I'm going to say 2017.
We have talked about the flywheel so much.
It's got to be 2018. Hang on.
No, George, stop Googling. Stop it. Step away
Yeah, I
from
would've
Bing,
2018.
Yahoo,
I think it was 17.
Thieves. All right, have we locked in our answers?
No, because
George,
Stop Googling. You can't type anything, George.
Part of me wants
George,
to
you're
say
typing.
that.
George, you're typing, so your answer is locked in at 2018.
What?
You're
Who's
done.
typing? I'm not typing.
Yeah,
Right
okay.
now, I'm reading. I'm not typing. I typed a minute
Max,
ago.
you are the golden child.
Let's
Devin and George have brought shame upon the Hub Heroes family. It was 2017. Also, George, right before COVID hit in 2020. My dude, where were you in 2019?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say anything, but I was like,
Listen,
You know
You
what?
have
It's
man
because
time
he's chilling on his
recollection there.
Davenport on the
It's like
veranda.
when
That's
we
right.
already have
decades
discussed
blend
this in
together.
previous episodes.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'll own it. I will be the old fart
Human of the podcast.
I'm just
Wow.
saying. Yeah.
I just
I'll be
remember
that guy.
seeing Brian just getting up there and spinning that was like the most transformative moment of my life. I was like,
There were lots of sparks. Was that also the year that they did the Lord of the Rings themed like video and talk that led up to the flywheel? Or
No.
The greatest
Puppets.
moment of my
The
life.
puppets
Brian,
one
Yeah,
was
the
plus
puppets
amazing.
was great.
plus puppets
Dude.
equals winning. Wait,
Dude,
what?
I
thought the
walked
Puppets was the Lord of
outside
the Rings.
while
Was it
they
two
were
different ones?
shooting
Well, the
part of that
Puppets one was the
puppet
best
thing,
one. Puppets
and I
was
had
the best.
no clue what was going on. I just saw a bunch of people in a car with Muppets, and they were filming it, and I was like, "Where do I work? This is so
see,
weird."
see,
work in
I
the
don't-
best place of all.
I don't know because man, 2012 and for those about to rock Thunderstruck. It was Thunderstruck, AC/DC Thunderstruck intro with like the helicopter and like the jumpsuits. But I it's a moment in time. But Devin, I agree. When I saw, ladies and gentlemen, when I saw the Darmesh puppet, I might have pooped myself a little bit. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
We all had a moment.
Nah, it's just the underpants gnomes reference from a couple years ago was the greatest thing. Oh my goodness.
Step 1, steal underpants.
Yes.
Step 2, blank. Step 3, profit. And
Did
step 4.
anyone see my TikTok that I did with that with the DJ hitting the drop at inbound using that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, we
Go
got to
on my
put it in the show
TikTok, I'll
notes.
find
Let's
it.
find it. Let's put it in the show notes.
Max,
I will tell you,
when did
I know we're going to get into breakouts. We told everybody we'd get into breakouts, but I have to share this. I don't know if I've ever shared this publicly. One of the things that has fascinated me over the years that I have absolutely kept track of and even made it a point to try to say something to that human after they were done is the level in which every year Darmesh, the keynote that he brings, it just is fire.
Unbelievable.
Like how funny he has gotten, how much he like banks on the sun, the being an introvert, the like I just gotta tell you, I love watching him talk at these things, and I'm always fascinated to see where we go and how good he gets year after year. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
Crazy
unbelievable.
watching his kid grow up, right?
Well, guys,
And I love
we're
Brian's
ready to
dog
get
too. Don't get me wrong. I love Brian. I love Brian's dog. We even
feel
saw
guilty
Brian's
every
kid
year.
in Spider-Man pajamas. I'm just saying,
You heard it
Darmesh
here
and his
first,
growth
Hub
over
Heroes.
time.
George is up on Darmesh and not up on Brian Halligan.
See,
All
I'm gonna
right.
get hate mail. I'm gonna get-
Exclusives. We
although,
have a lot of exclusives dropping here today. Devin getting
Although-
Nike by Gary V.
did other people see Brian Halligan's LinkedIn post just recently about like the lessons learned of being a CEO? Like anybody else? Anyway, that'll be a link in the show notes too. We should probably move forward.
Are we actually ready now to talk about our picks today, gentlemen?
Yeah.
George, do you have any other thoughts about the year that was lost, 2019? Since we jumped
No.
from 2018?
I feel like I have Alzheimer's around that, so we'll just move
Doing
forward.
great.
We're doing
This
great.
is okay. In case our listeners are wondering, this is what thriving looks like. This is what living, laughing, and loving looks like. All of
On
those
Friday,
home goods posters are about us.
Friday at 3:22 Eastern time on
doing
August 11th. Ladies and gentlemen, cheers. This is us
Cheers.
thriving.
Yeah. Here's what we're going to do,
Now
kiddos.
he's open
Instead of
saving by knowing
each
the
of
date
us,
time.
all right, for the listeners at home, here's what we did. We each went through the agenda and hand selected 2 different breakout sessions that we believe are the ones that you should be attending. So what we're going to do is we're going to go round robin. I'm going to start with you, George, Max, Devin, and then myself. We're each going to share one, and then we're going to do a round robin again. I figured I'd share the rules since we have a tendency sometimes to get a little off track.
Wait, there's rules?
George, you get to go first. What's your first
Hey,
choice?
all
But
right. Sounds good.
before you tell us the first choice, I'd actually just be curious to hear from you. How did you choose these particular ones that you're going to share with us?
Well, the first one, 2 reasons. Because I absolutely love the human. And 2, it piggybacks off of last week's conversation with Mark Killens and ish changing around what HubSpot, aka HubSpot Academy, might be alluding to doing in the future. And I want to be in the room. 2 reasons for the first one. The second one, because it's a future major strategy that we want to lean into for GBT and HubHeroes. So I want to be in the room and I want to listen to the ways that we can take what might feel very old and maybe implement it in ways that feels very new and fresh. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So,
all right,
should I go with the first one?
Yeah, let's go with the first one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. We're going to get into the good stuff. So the first one is the new age of customer education and the flywheel.
We know how much you love a good
flywheel.
flywheel.
I love customer education, and I have grown to love the flywheel. But here's the thing. It's Courtney Sembler.
Yes.
She's amazing.
We love Courtney.
Oh, my God. She's an amazing human, impacting lives on a daily basis, like just cranking stuff out, with the team. She's the director of HubSpot Academy, by the way. Just going to throw that out there. But if you look at kind of what's happening, there's tags on these, by the way. The breakouts, there's tags like customer experience, customer satisfaction, customer retention, like this. But customer education has been declared a must need for growing companies for the last few years. And with so many businesses turning to customer education, what can you do to stand out in this environment? You remember when they had an academy and they were special? A lot of companies have academies now, by the way. So I love this idea of how do you stand out in this new environment that we're finding ourselves. The new age of customer education is tied directly to your bottom line. Ladies and gentlemen, you mean this education has to equal revenue? Oh my God, to your bottom line, from lead generation to revenue retention. In this session, you explore the new age of customer education and how your business or organization can attract, engage, and delight with educational content. Learn how HubSpot Academy grew from live trainings, I was there, by the way, to supporting some of HubSpot's most important business objectives. Let's go. Come on.
Powerful.
That's it.
Right.
I'll be there. Be there. Unless there's a bus or a train or a meteor, I'll be there.
And even then,
I might limp in. I don't know. We'll see.
Take a dive off an asteroid. It'll be totally fine.
It'll be good.
Matt.
I'll walk it off.
George, don't get hit by a bus, please.
Before you share your first pick, can you do the same and give us a little peek behind the scenes about how you made your choices?
Yeah, I think this is going to be my first inbound not being an employee, right? Whoa. So thinking
dude, are you getting emotional?
Yeah. No. Thinking a lot about kind of like, all right, what was I really in the know about when I was a employee, and what did that make me like ignore, right? You know what I mean? Because I was like, I already, I know what's happening already. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
While some things are like big, cool announcements for some folks, for me, I was like, oh, I saw that months ago, right? So I'm thinking about it through that perspective. And the other kind of like perspective I'm thinking through too is in my new role of like evangelism and building partner programs and stuff like that. I'm looking for any and all help and education on how to do that stuff, because I'm very much building the plane as I'm flying it right now. And looking forward to learning from the pros, best practices around kind of the work I'm doing day to day now. So that was kind of my perspective going into it, and also before, it's just like when I was there, it was all about just like meeting customers and selling stuff and like having like a fun hangout with, HubSpot coworkers. But like I'm going there, as a customer, as a partner, as a, whatever you want to call it. Right. So it's going to be a totally different experience, and I'm looking forward to like, enjoying it through that lens. But, my first one that I had here, I have like actually picked like 4 of them, but we're just gonna do 2. So first one I have here is one that John McLaren and Lori Keon, I think I'm spelling her, might pronounce their name wrong, are doing, and it's building deep CRM customizations to supercharge your business. It's a HubSpot product breakout. The big reason I'm super stoked for this one is anytime I would have like really deep questions, thoughts, ponderings, needing real good insights into like what's happening with HubSpot's API and like what we're doing on the forefront of like customizing stuff or allowing people to customize stuff, whether it's through private apps or what sort of extent that like marketplace apps have the ability to do, especially when it comes to things like custom cards and how they're opening up that center panel for a lot of custom cards and tabs and things like that, and building just more stuff into HubSpot from your outside systems. That's the stuff that I'm super stoked about right now. Not just because I'm working for Happily, but it's always just been a big kind of thing. Because like, to me, that's where we start to beat Salesforce, right? When we can add this much deeper level of customization that's more front and center versus a little card floating on the side, right? So I'm super stoked to kind of see what's going on there, because I'm out of the loop of that stuff now versus like, you know, very much in it every day. So I'm super stoked on that one. And anyone who's interested in, you know, building in your own internal systems that your company has into HubSpot's interface, this is one that you need to go to, because you'll get all the juice on how to do it and what's on the horizon and like what they're going to be adding. It's going to be awesome.
Dude, talk about a happy accident. So one of the things that I've been doing inside community.hubheroes.com is actually doing a VIP, very important presentation. Ooh, see what I did there? VIP content. And I usually don't share my screen, but I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. I'm going to find the window here. It is this one. Dude, look at this. This is literally one of the ones that we said was a VIP piece that people should be paying attention to.
Let's go.
I'm like, oh my God. Max and I were like, I don't know, twins or something, or joint. I don't know. But
Basically.
It's amazing. It's amazing, dude. I was like, yes, it's a good one.
That's going to be a really cool one. I can't wait for it. John's always got the juice when it comes to the HubSpot API and what's on the horizon and stuff. So it's going to be great.
Love it.
Devin, what about you, my dude?
Oh, I have two. One is a subject that is very, near and dear to me. I had to switch cameras because my camera died. I'm so depressed. But one is about work-life balance and parenting specifically.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And those are huge. Like, you can see parenting's important to me. You can see, like, I keep artwork from the kids on the office wall. But this one is a meetup. It's Balance and Stretch, Making Working Parenthood Work. This one, it says, joins the founders of Mamava and Mother Honestly, plus other parents and caregivers for a series of fun exercises designed to get out of your head and tap into your inner wisdom. Like that, for me, that's huge. And I know, a lot of parents deal with guilt for the amount of work that they're putting in, the amount of time that they're investing in their job. So that one is definitely one of the ones on the top of my list. And the other one is by...
Uh-oh, he's breaking the rules. He's breaking the rules.
One at a time,
Second one, when it's my turn again. Bad human. You need to take this money.
One official demerit to Devin.
Take it, Jen.
One official demerit to Devin. Hurtful.
But
Not
I will say this. The fact that that's what Devin picked, good human. I'm going to throw that out there.
All right. Well, I will share mine. My first one, let me first go into the background of how I chose. So I'm going to tell you the thing that I do every year that I go to Inbound, whether I'm attending virtually or in person. I go to the session filters and I see what stuff they have about content, because surprise, surprise, your resident content strategist cares about whether or not there are sessions about actually how the sausage gets made when it comes to content. And guess what, guys? There isn't.
Oh!
What?
Oh!
No sausage?
No, there's sausage, bro. There's food trucks.
Good. Thank God.
High-level content sausage, right? There's high-level, let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. But once again, this is my one petty grievance that I have every year. And I don't know if it's because there is a deficit of content-focused specialists who are willing to speak at the event, or what it is. But every single year I go, and I walk away going, I love that I have learned so much of what to do with content once I've created it, but how do I actually create it? How do I actually do it? Because that's the thing, right? We sit down in front of our keyboards and we have existential crises about our expertise and abilities and our thoughts and dreams and beliefs and whether or not we're special boys and girls who will actually achieve our dreams one day. But it surprises me We have a whole industry built around content, and nobody talks about it. Nobody. We're supposed to rely.
Come on, Inbound.
We're just going to Chat GPT and asking it to write us a blog post now.
Well, Marcus Sheridan does have a talk about like building trust with content in the AI era, which I think is very fascinating, but that's not one of the ones I chose, although I'm sure it'll be a great talk.
Oh, it'll be
but
great
like,
talk.
I just have to throw it out there. I don't know if it's an inbound issue or if it is a people aren't talking about it issue, because George, you and I have had this conversation. There are a surprising few people like me, like our friend Kevin Phillips, it is surprising to me how many we don't have in terms of content specialists in the industry. And I'm wondering if it's also like they just don't know that they should be talking if they are. So it may not be a HubSpot inbound issue. It may be something around like, well, nobody's submitting anything.
Yeah, let's ask the masses, right? Like, you're listening to this, you're watching this. If you're in the community, have you seen this at other events where you just don't see the like how to make it, how it can be made right, it can be made efficiently, it can be made so it's just tasty good? Like, let us know. Hit us up on the Twitters, or hit us up in the community, or it's not Twitters anymore. Dang it!
Hit us up on the X.
Hit us up on the X.
We'll give it to you unless it's content, and then you're not going to get it.
By the way, Liz, before we move forward, make sure you mention Kevin Phillips, because we mentioned him once in the podcast too.
I will mention him right
on
after
LinkedIn.
Barack
We'll tag
Obama.
everybody.
Maybe
We'll tag everybody that we talk about once in this episode on LinkedIn. It's a new strategy. It's not happening enough on LinkedIn.
It's not.
No, not enough.
Really
Not.
So I'm throwing that out there. That is my petty grievance. And to your point, George, the year that I spoke at Inbound, I did a totally wonky, like, you all know the term brand voice. Do you know how to define it? And it was like a standing room only type of thing. And it was really cool. And I had people come up to me saying, like, I actually was taught how to do a content thing instead of just being talked around it.
Yes.
So my first one, though, actually has nothing to do with content. I'm going to be perfectly honest because, well, first of all, none there. So there's that. But also the other thing, too, is that I am very privileged that one of the clients I work with actually does one of their primary competencies is that they work with organizations, schools, parents, and practitioners to implement DEIA programs within their organizations, schools, or solving specific sensitive challenges. And she's been doing this work in Los Angeles for about more than 15, 20 years. Just a really remarkable woman. Her name is Colette Bauer-Zinn. And what struck me is that when I was going through the agenda, a particular talk came up that really caught my eye, and it is belonging, intersection of DEI and customer experience, with Dan Gingiss and Shauna Hughes. What I love about this is that there is more emphasis now on organizational leaders making a purposeful priority out of DEIA initiatives. And there are good reasons for that, right? Like, there's the good human side of it, which is like, well, number one, by 2045, did you guys know that people who are considered quote unquote minorities will likely be the majority? So there's that. Organizations make 87% better decisions when they have a more diverse and inclusive workforce. And then if you are just there for the money, because I know some people are, more diverse organizations usually make 2.5% more cash flow per employee. So there is the business case for it as well. But what I found fascinating about this is that while it is also talking about DEI initiatives internally, they are talking about how DEI is something that can also be integrated in and can and should be integrated into your customer experience. Now, this feels like an obvious thing. Like, if you like, it's not just diverse inside our walls. Like, all the humans are diverse. That is the human experience. But I think what is really exciting to me about this is that it's taking people out of this very binary way of thinking of like, it is an HR concept. This is the thing that we have to do in order to check the box and da-da-da. It's about making a more holistic approach to DEI, and especially when it comes to the humans that you serve, which is something I know we're very passionate about here. So that's my first recommendation. I would highly recommend people check that out.
I love it. I hang on. I want to chime in here. I love that you brought this one up. I'll tell you why. Because I love Dan. Dan is a great human. And I'm saying that he's a great human because if you haven't checked out the podcast I don't know if they're still doing it, but there's a lot of historical juicy goodness especially for our service folks that might be listening to this. If you have not checked out the Experience This podcast with Joey Coleman and Dan Gingiss, you should definitely check it out. And also, if you're like, ooh, that sounds like something we might be interested in our organization, then go to dangingiss.com. Now, I don't say that for everybody. And by the way, I love Dan enough that, Liz, don't tag Dan into this crazy long link post that we're going to do where we're mentioning everybody. Just leave him out of it. He's a good human. No, I shouldn't say that. Everybody's a good human. Don't tag anybody.
Don't tag anybody. What about our best friend of the pod, Barack Obama? We go on picnics with him every Saturday.
We should tag him still.
We should tag him.
Yeah.
George, actually keep your mic on because you're up next. You're up
I
next.
know.
Give us your second pick.
Yes.
Does he ever turn his mic off?
I do.
Boom.
I'd like to pretend. Let me live in an aspirational world.
I don't turn my mic off, but I do my wife. Okay, boom, boom. Let's go. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Kelly's gonna
It's a joke,
find
people.
you.
Oh, God. You know, I'm in so much trouble right now because Noah edits this and he's going to be like, Mom, guess what Dad said on the podcast?
You're totally going to get ratted out by your kid, man. You're totally going to get ratted out.
I probably should start building the doghouse right now.
Yes.
Right.
Gotta do that.
No. Okay, so let's move forward. Oh, God, I'm really in trouble. Okay, let's
Hi,
move
Kelly.
forward.
I'm the good one.
Hi, Kelly. How are you doing? All right. So, you can give Kelly a high five when you see her at Inbound and be like, I don't know how you live with that dude. Okay, moving on. My second one is a blueprint to build your webinar and virtual event strategy. And I'll tell you why I picked this one, because months and months ago, I did a podcast episode for the Marketing Smarts podcast for marketing profs. And it was with Mark Killens, but at that point, he was with Airmeet, and we were talking about event growth strategies. And it sent me down this research thing of wanting to do events. By the way, we're doing a podcast right now. No, we're not. We're doing an event. You literally go into the community right now. It says live. There can be people asking questions in the chat pane. There's a button that you could be hit the call in and actually step on stage with us, and you could ask a question and we could answer it. We're literally doing an event. Everything can be an event. You just have to start to change your mind on how you're doing it and where you're doing it and why you're doing it. And so for this one, everybody likes a good blueprint, baby. I want a blueprint to build less webinar-ish, but more event-style strategy around GBT and around HubHeroes. Tessa Barron, VP of Marketing from On24. Okay. Growth and acquisition marketing, marketing ops, and marketing tech, by the way, was the tags that were with this one. And driving growth today takes a change of mindset. By the way, we may be talking about webinars and events right now. We may be talking about business right now. Or we may be talking about just life in general. Let me read that again for the people in the back row. Driving growth, personal or professional, today takes a change of mindset. From how we plan, scale, optimize, and align for success, marketers need to rethink the fundamentals of how we engage audiences, build relationships, and deliver revenue in a digital-first world. Can somebody just drop the mic? Mine's hooked to an arm. I can't drop a mic. If I had one, I'd drop it right now.
Wow.
Dropped it.
You know what? For the keynote, shout out to our best friends, Darmash and Brian, who we'll see at brunch this weekend because they're also best friends of the pod. We'll give you the recording of Max doing that on video. And when you make whatever big announcement you're going to make this year, just have that cute little thing of Max just going.
Dropping the mic. No, we should actually, when we see them at brunch, we should ask them if they want to come and be on the show at some point.
We totally should.
That'd be fun.
Are they going to have sausage at the brunch?
Max, what's your second choice?
My second choice is about AI. I don't know. All right. Listen, I'm freaked out about AI. Not
I
gonna
love
lie.
AI. What are you talking about?
Robots are coming for
Not
you,
why
Max.
we're here.
I've watched too many scary podcasts about AI not to be freaked out about AI. But Sinead Bovell, founder of Way, is she's a futurist, so she studies the future, right, and forecasts
So
the
cool.
future, right?
Wait,
yeah, she's done a lot of cool stuff.
If you're studying the future, does that can you even be tested on that? Because there are no right or wrong answers.
Eventually.
Exactly. Yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah. So
Continue, Maximus.
dubbed the AI educator for the non-nerds by Vogue, Sinead Bovell is changing the narrative of who should be talking tech. Get Sinead's straightforward take on technology and the future in this session, exploring the exciting possibilities and concerns, I've got concerns, of an emerging AI-powered future, focusing on how to adapt and when to resist. So the session's called Preparing for the AI Boom, the perspective of a futurist. Anyway, I'm super stoked on it. I've just heard a lot. I mean, AI is cool. Don't get me wrong. I've been trying to open up my mind to a lot more of it. I think I was just so sour on it when it first, when I first started realizing that, like, oh man, people are already so bad at creating content anyway. It's going to be even worse when they can just tell a machine. No, your poetry was one of the best parts of it. But like, I've always just been, it's just like, man, listen, creating content is a tough thing to do, and it kind of sucks that people can just go and just tell a robot to write a blog post or create content. But maybe it doesn't suck. Maybe that's just the new paintbrush these days, and it's all about being really good at prompts and all this other stuff. But anyway, significantly freaked out about it, so I want to hear her take on it and all that. And we'll see. I don't know. I'm so weird about how I feel about AI. I'm trying to explore those feelings. You know what I mean? So
have to have a future AI focused podcast. We have to.
Just Max crying for 45
let's
minutes?
get
Saying I'm
Dylan.
fine?
Let's get Dylan from Chats, who's working on ChatSpot, to come in and talk to us about it.
Yes, let's get Dylan Selberg on here. Let's have a conversation. I don't usually promote just our normal blog on here, but ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know how I feel about AI, head over to georgebthomas.com. I just wrote an article like last week about AI, memory bank, custom instructions, Chat GPT, communicating with an assistant, training an assistant, making something sound like your best friend. Like,
dude, George, when can I talk to Chat GPT?
Bro, I tried to buy that domain, $65,000 later. Never.
Oh my god.
Never will you talk to that.
Oy.
I mean, unless I win the lottery. If I won the lottery, I'd probably do it, but no.
Are you okay though, bud? You got a little emotional about the robots.
It's
I just want to
just
check on
such
you
a-
before we move on.
It's such an interesting conversation, and it's one that I can see. I'm not a futurist, but I see it becoming divisions in the way that people fundamentally think and believe that they can or should be doing business. And it stresses me out because people already put too many restraints on. Like, imagine saying to yourself, I don't need to use the printing press. I don't need
Hard
to use
pass on the telegraph.
I don't need to use the internet. Mobile phones, no, not for me. Literally, this might be one of the most massive changes in what we call the world in forever. So please don't think of it as just a marketing conversation, because it's not. Anyway, different episode. Let's move forward. We're talking about inbound.
Max, are you okay, bud?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how I could just, like, I don't know, 3D print an AI generated NFT. You know what I mean?
What I would recommend,
and somehow turn it into a crypto and take it to the moon, baby.
Let's go.
all I would recommend is that if you see Johnny Five rolling down the hallway at inbound, just like fall to your knees and say, I, for one, welcome our AI overlords, and then move on. Anyway, Devin.
I say that to my Alexa daily.
Yeah.
Aw, I wish it would let me rename it Johnny Five, but it doesn't.
That would be dope.
That would be amazing.
I do call mine computer, though.
I used to do that, but I say the word computer too much, and it would be like, what? I'm like, shut up, computer. I'm like, sorry.
All right, kids.
Yes.
Devin, what is your next
My
pick?
next pick that I was immediately going to go into, but then I earned a demerit earlier,
You did. Official demerit.
is by used to be one of my favorite podcasts. It was, I think it was a RevOps podcast. Now I'm drawing a brain fart on the name of his podcast, but Sangram Varsh.
Are you drawing it in watercolors or pastels?
How do you draw a fart?
Hold up.
Charcoal?
I'm pretty sure you can have a brain fart. I've never tried to draw one. I'm just.
Be quiet.
little-
The man is an artist. And now tell us your
I
tools.
could do it. I have Photoshop open right now.
Just butt on the wall and
That
start
may end up in
going.
the show notes. You guys keep playing. But yeah, I'm drawing a blank and having a brain fart, okay? Let me just mix my idioms in peace, please. But
Who's the old man now?
Do You use a bowl and a whisk or a stand mixer to mix your idioms.
And your
Oh
farts.
my God.
I use a rubber.
Go ahead,
spatula.
Devin. We digress.
We're doing great. Trust us with your inbounds and your hub heroing. We're here
all
for you
about
always.
strategy, baby.
Who decided Friday afternoons were a good idea?
After lunch, I'm still in this food coma.
All right, Devin, what is it? What is it? Out with
Okay,
it.
so this particular one is the 11 irrefutable go-to-market plays that simply work by Sangram Vajra. He is like the dude. If you've ever listened, he co-founded Terminus. He is like the Flip My Funnel podcast. That was the name of it. He is the dude who was talking about RevOps before anybody and had podcast devoted to it. The thing is, it says most people imagine starting and growing a business as something either daunting or nearly impossible. Unfortunately, data suggests that less than 1% of the companies do $1 million in revenue in their lifetime, much less than a year. Sangram had the opportunity to start 2 companies in the last 10 years that grew from 0 to $1 million in 9 months. Join this session to learn practical examples, regardless if you're a startup or a big company, on how you can jumpstart your business with these 11 plays, a GTM operating system, an ROI model. You can steal it and apply it today. Definitely hoping I can sneak in and see that one. That's one of the things that sucks about being a HubSpot employee, going to HubSpot or going to Inbound, is that there is a very good chance that I'm going to be working during while he's on the discovery stage. But I think I'm going to be working right next door to the stage, so I'm going to keep an eye out for what he's got going on.
I'll cover you.
Absolutely, you'll fit right in.
Unless there are robots, in which case Matt is going to be in the fetal position on the floor crying. But that's, like we said, that's an episode for a different day.
So
Boston Dynamics,
I'll
stay
trade
back.
shirts with you, Matt, so you can wear my Black at Inbound shirt and just be the vibe checker in the space, and then I'll head over to the display.
Oh yeah, that'll go well.
Hi, I'm Devin.
Yeah. Question though, does anybody else find it odd that they talked about not many businesses make it to making $1 million in a year
In their lifetime.
Wait,
You'd be surprised.
I'm struggling with that, ladies and
I've
gentlemen.
started 6 different businesses, and only 2 of them have made it into 6 figures. So I understand that completely.
Different story, different day. My turn. It's my turn.
Get it?
I hesitate to say this one because it's going to make one of our hosts completely insufferable with ego. But when I looked, if you're wondering, it's George. Yay, George.
They let this guy in?
Because yes, they did.
Who's that guy?
Oh my goodness.
But here's the thing.
Tag him on LinkedIn in this post. Spam the crap out of this guy that you're about to talk about.
Screenshot his headshot in this thing too. Because this guy in this headshot, oh my goodness.
Outstanding. So I went through the entire agenda and I was like, don't make it that I have to pick this one. Don't make this be the right one to pick, which of course meant it was the right one to pick. Actually, all kidding aside, I am here. I am here as the #1 superfan of George's session. I believe it's on Wednesday, right?
Yep.
Is it Wednesday? Yep.
It's
6
Wednesday, my dude.
ES reasons why your sales enablement strategy sucks. Now, I've got a couple of reasons why I'm really hyped about it. Number 1, kidding aside, if you haven't seen George speak, you got to see George speak. Because I don't know about y'all. Have you ever been to inbound sessions where you're like, I did not realize I accidentally stumbled into a 30-minute timeshare commercial? You're not actually learning anything. You're not actually walking away with anything. Or stuff is too high level or abstract. You can't act. So every time I've seen George speak, which has been at Inbound, it's been at Impact Live, it's been at Marketing Profs, you go there to learn and you walk away with tools. And my understanding, George, we can't talk about it yet, but you got some special little goodies that you're going to be giving people who attend this specific session. Now, the other reason I'm really hyped about this is that in addition to being the person who will bang on Dharmesh and Brian's door until they finally do a content-focused session at Inbound, is I'm also a big sales enablement champion. And the reason for that is because I actually spent 6 months on the sales team at Impact as their dedicated content strategist. And literally, you can ask Tom DeCipio, who's still at Impact. I'm a woman of tact and grace. So when he told me that you were doing such a great job as the marketing team content strategist, we're going to have you go be the dedicated one for the sales team, I blurted out, am I being punished? And I think that is very symbolic of the problem that we have with sales enablement, right? Like, sales enablement sounds like a good idea. And marketers, I'm pretty sure you know how to spell it, but do you actually know what sales enablement content is? What a sales enablement strategy looks like? Are you sure you actually have a strategy? Or did you just find a blog one day that said sales enablement, showed it to your boss, and then made something resembling sales enablement, but quietly somewhere in the dark, your sales teams are like, these leads suck, this content sucks, they are not helping us. You need to go to this session because George, I got a little sneak peek because I'm greedy. I'm an only child who can't wait until Christmas morning. So I got a little sneak peek of what he's going to be talking about. He literally goes through these 6 very specific ways in which your sales enablement strategy is failing, lays out an entire roadmap of how to un-F your sales enablement strategy. But then the best part of what I really like about it is because really rolling out a whole sales enablement ecosystem within your organization is freaking terrifying. So what you're actually going to be giving people is, so this is the entire kingdom you're going to be building. But here are the first 6 steps you need to take right now. So it's going to be tactical. It's going to be a thing that genuinely, as many of our inbound practitioners like to say, move the needle. Getting up there with accelerating, unlocking, and discovering, guys. We need to retire that phrase soon. But like, for now, this is going to move the needle. If you want to make friends with your sales team, which you should, marketers, so you don't look like an expense and look like a profit center, you need to be there.
Yeah, Liz, first of all, thanks for bringing this up. Like, I had zero clue. And what I'll say, a little bit of a behind the scenes flow here is, this is easily the talk out of my entire life of giving talks, the one that I have researched the most, the one that I have contemplated of what I wanted to talk about the most, the one that I've dove in for other thought leader quotes, statistics, tied it back to just fundamental human communication and understanding. Like this for me is, it's less about just an inbound talk, and it's more about what might be a GBT version 3 of a topic that I have now fallen in love with and will start to really put the hammer down on how do we start fixing this in organizations.
Yeah, because that's the great thing about this talk is you're going into the tactics and the human side of it. And I think that's usually where people get tripped up, right? Like, there are 2 parts of this equation. There's the sales enablement strategy itself that needs to be executed, but it begins with the humans who actually need to play well together, not run with scissors, actually trust each other and actually get the work done. And that usually that's the part that gets missed. So that is my final choice. I know we are at time, fellas, but I would love to just lob one other thing. George, did you want to share your spotlight?
So just real quick. I'll do it real quick. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just saying. First of all, it says spotlight, live stream. So even if you're not going, just know that it says live stream. Does anybody sitting here know who Andrew Huberman? I'm stuck at that. Anyway, neurobiology professor and host, and it's also with Brian Halligan. So it's the 2 of them together. Co-founder and executive chairperson, by the way, HubSpot. Culture and community, sales strategy, brand and creative is the literal tags that they use for this one. A conversation with Andrew exploring the power of intense focus, mindfulness, and rest to fuel creativity and strengthen the culture of a team.
Boom.
Nice.
Yes, please.
More of that, please.
More of that, please. Yes,
Can I plug another session?
Yes. Would you like to plug the other 2 that you have?
Noah's going to be like...
No, just one.
I can already hear this in my house, by the way. Noah is going to come down. He's going to open the file and he's going to be like, it's 65 minutes.
You know what, Noah? You know what? We got big brain stuff happening here this week, man. We got to make sure the big brain stuff gets to the big brain audience.
Hey, if you're looking for a big brain session, The boys from Happily.
There
AKA,
you go. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Hey, but here's the thing. Very
Chill.
relevant. All right.
For big popsicle.
For big Paleta, I'll have you know.
Chilling away. Go ahead, brother. Talk about
our
it.
CEO, Dax, our head of product, and Tyrone, our CTO, are doing a session called Integrate Your App with HubSpot to leverage a growth channel, where they're going to be sharing a whole ton of secrets on how to build apps for the HubSpot app marketplace. So if you are a HubSpot partner, or you are a developer and you're starting to see the writing on the walls in terms of the opportunity that is the HubSpot app marketplace, and you are building apps on HubSpot curious, right? These guys have done it time and time again. That's partly why I was such big fans of them and why I'm working with them now. But they're gonna be sharing all the secrets on how to actually build apps on HubSpot, how to take them to market, how to drive adoption, all that kind of stuff. So,
dude,
I mean, I wouldn't be a chief evangelist without calling that out. You got to go check it out. It's gonna be sick.
I'm there. I have the greatest app idea. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be at that session.
Damn.
Because I want to build a HubSpot integrated app that when you tag a shit ton of people on LinkedIn and put out a post, that it fries your entire HubSpot ecosystem and you can't use it anymore.
It just automatically violates some kind of GDPR rule.
Melts down. Just melts down. Bye. You're done. Get off the internet.
It deletes your LinkedIn account.
In case our listeners are wondering, this is an educational podcast and a cry for help. It's both.
Yeah.
It can be both ends.
Yep.
I need a therapist.
Do you agree? What are your thoughts? Do you agree?
Let us know.
What else
are
have
you
you
tired
seen?
of getting tagged into LinkedIn and having to go, why am I on this? Let me look.
All right, guys, calm down, or everyone gets demerits.
I'm
That's
sorry.
right.
I apologize.
No, hand them out.
I
So
got a
it's
little
not just
passionate.
me.
No, Devin, it's going to be just you this week. See, you spoke up. You
Score.
spoke out of turn. Now you got a double demerit.
Ricky Rickelson commented on a
I
post you
was
were tagging.
literally talking at the same time as George, and I get okay. That's fine. No, it's fine. I see how it is.
Sorry, are we tattling?
Yeah, sure am.
Are we tattling?
Sure am.
The violence.
There's gonna be a poem about Liz from Devin next time she don't show up for the show.
I know that. Last time you wrote a poem about me, I really liked it, and so there's that. I mean,
It's gonna be a different poem this time. I can feel it. I can feel it.
Well, while we're feeling that, last question, guys. If you could give one piece of advice to our listeners about how to get the most out of the sessions, for the breakout sessions specifically, what would it be? I will go last.
If you're going to take notes, do whatever you can do to keep yourself in the moment. I mean, I know for me, if I'm taking notes on a laptop, I'm easily distracted by the internet.
So interesting.
And so I guess I don't know, if you haven't picked up a pen and paper in a while, go ahead and do that. But again, that's just for me, someone who's easily distracted. Be there, be in the moment, soak it all in. You can always watch a recording if there is one. So if there is one, let that be your notes. But, just be present.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to hop in here with mine because I will say, no, I got to hop in here with mine because it's related to Max's, only because of what he just said. So when I spoke at Inbound, something was wrong with the recording equipment and it ended up not being recorded at all. So I don't know if this is legal, but I don't work for HubSpot. So, record it. Put it on a voice memo. That way you can stay in the moment. And also, you don't know when those recordings are going to be available. You don't know when they're going to make the slides available. If you want to be able to be in the moment, absorb, ask questions you would not have normally asked because you're busy frantically taking pictures of the slides or scribbling stuff down that you will not remember the next time, record it, and then go to rev.com and do an AI transcription, which is it's like a sentiment. It's stupidly cheap. I do recordings on it all the time. It'll be this is a 35-minute recording. It will cost you $4. Do that instead so you can be there and be present. Sorry, George, I didn't mean to jump in. I hope you understand why. It was kind of...
Yeah, there's actually an app that will record the audio and allow you to take notes at the same time and timestamp where you're actually putting your notes. It's like an iPad. I forget the name of it. I used it for a couple events that I went to. It was really kind of dope. So what's funny though is I was going in the same direction as Max, where I'm maybe put down your device, maybe get a physical pencil or pen, get a piece of paper, And definitely jot down, because by the way, there's just something fundamentally different about writing it down on paper or writing it in the style of normal writing. Even if it's not paper and pen, maybe it's
Parchment and quill.
Well, no, but I have one too, and I can't even remember the dang name of it. It's like, it doesn't have the internet, basically. It's not going to give you notifications. You're not going to be able to fly over to social, but it's like a pen, and you write on like what feels like an iPad type system.
Oh, a paper?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about Remarkable?
Remarkable. That's it. I even have one, and listen, I'm getting old. I was drawing a brain fart, much like Devin was drawing a brain fart earlier.
I
couldn't remember the name of it. Yeah.
With watercolors.
So like, even if it's like a Remarkable or regular paper, but like this whole thing, the fact that most of us, because we'll see what Devin was going to say. At this point so far, most of us were like, be present, be in the moment, jot down your notes, forget the internet exists, make sure you're creating a backup. You're going to get back to it later. Here's what I'm going to say. Have all of that, because what I want you to do on top of that Remarkable, or what I want you to do on top of your iPad or on the paper, for every session you go to, I want you to write hashtag one thing out of that session that you want to implement when you get back, because you can't implement everything, but you can implement one thing out of each session that you go to, and then go from there once those are done. I'm done.
I love that. Devin, Demerit King.
Wow.
Take us home,
Demerit
sweet
King.
Wow.
We stand a Demerit
That's your
King.
Dungeons and Dragons name, by the way. Demerit King has
That
arrived.
actually sounds pretty amazing.
Slayer of brain farts.
Get some rest. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, this is inbound is draining in a great way. You're gonna get tired. You're gonna be tempted to go out and do all the things, see all the people, drink all the drinks, and libations will be flowing. But get some rest. At the end of the day, you're there primarily to come out better than you were when you went in. And rest is a weapon. You're gonna be tired. You're gonna be tempted to fall asleep, especially if you find a breakout where someone is particularly monotonous, because not everybody can be like, cheerleader backflip like George. So yeah, you gotta go into it rested. Get some coffee in you, stretch, keep the blood flowing. And Max is picturing George in a cheerleading outfit now.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, you are.
H is for HubSpot. Yeah.
Yeah, get some rest.
Give me an H. Give me a... Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, kids, on that note, happy first annual Breakout Session Explosion Fun Time with HubHeroes.
Let's go.
Wow, George, that's what we're going out on? Let's go.
No, I don't know how to... Liz, I don't know how to beat that sleep is a weapon. Rest is a weapon. Like, I just hope everybody... Devin once again is like, let me nonchalantly throw this firebomb into your lap. Rest.
Max, can you do another mic drop for us? For the kids at home? Hold on.
I hope you're watching this. I hope you're going to the community.hubheroes.com. I hope you watch this episode. The audio, I know, will just not do it justice.
Sync it up with this. Hold on one second. Here you go.
Did it have a cap on it?
Huh? What? Yeah, it had a cap on it.
We're doing great. And on that note, get out. We're done. Goodbye. Happy Friday, or whenever you're listening to this.
Oh, that's hot.
Okay, Hub Heroes, we've reached the end of another episode. Will Lord Lack continue to loom over the community, or will we be able to defeat him in the next episode of the Hub Heroes podcast? Make sure you tune in and find out in the next episode. Make sure you head over to thehubheroes.com to get the latest episodes and become part of the League of Heroes. FYI, if you're part of the League of Heroes, you'll get the show notes right in your inbox, and they come with some hidden power-up potential as well. Make sure you share this podcast with a friend, leave a review if you like what you're listening to, and use the hashtag HubHeroesPodcast on any of the socials, and let us know what strategy conversation you'd like to listen into next. Until next time, when we meet and combine our forces, remember to be a happy, helpful, humble human, and of course, always be looking for a way to be someone's hero.